Hi, another robotic whipple showing dissection of an accessory right hepatic artery and sacrificing it. You can see the right hepatic artery right there, but also you can see that there's another big right hepatic artery coming from the common hepatic artery. So my plan was to isolate, dissect the accessory, replace right, and preserve it. So here started the whipple with suturing the falciform and the gallbladder to the abdominal wall, and then starting dissection, opening the gastrocolic trunk. I do again whipples the same way every time. Then I move to the right side and mobilize the colon, get it out of the way, which gives me exposure to the duodenum and to the head of the pancreas. After that, I start the Coker maneuver, and this is caudal approach, starting from the bottom up dissection. This patient was skinny, which was great, and she had a small cholangiocarcinoma. That's the IVC. I keep taking all that tissue in the back until I reach the origin of the SMA. You can see the SMA pulsating in the background there, and that's good enough for me. Then I pull the jejunum through the ligament of Treitz and divide it. It helps a lot if you finish all the posterior tissue to be able to pull this without tension. After I divide the jejunum, I start the uncinate lift, uncinate dissection. Actually, here I went first to identify the SMV under the neck of the pancreas. That's the gastrocolic trunk. Was divided between hemolocks. And then this is starting the uncinate lift and uncinate dissection. Finding the vein first, the first jejunal branch. Once you see the vein from above and below, you know all the tissue between can be taken safely. That's the first jejunal branch, was giving big branches, big network of branches into the uncinate process. And you can see the SMA behind. For those venous branches, I really like the 8mm stapler is the perfect device for those. And then that's the SMA there. Here I was going carefully because I want to see where that replaced right hepatic artery is. Usually I stay on the SMA and I take all the branches. So here I lifted the uncinate and I decided to dissect the replaced right more distally behind the bile duct. And this is what I would do when in those cases when there's a replaced right. You can see the artery right there. Big lymph node covering the artery. Basically tracing it retrograding towards its origin from the SMA. Took that big lymph node. You can see the portal vein in the back there. That's the SMA, following the SMA with the uncinate lift technique. There was a lot of thick tissue around this artery. I know that I can take it, but I still was trying to preserve it. So I went back here, I left that dissection, went to finish the superior dissection, pylorus preserving. That's the hepatic artery lymph node, and then made the tunnel. You can see the venous dissection has been done. Divide the pancreas, always like to leave a stump of duct sticking out, and then usually I divide the pancreas with the synchroseal after I finish the duct. I leave the GDA till after I divide the pancreas. It just opens up the space and becomes easier to staple it, or I like to clip and staple the GA. Finishing this, that's the vein of Belcher. You can see the replaced right and the below all that uncinate tissue. You can see it right there coming off the SMA. I mean, it's decent sized. That's why I've been trying to preserve it. You can see it now across its entire length from the SMA. But here it appeared this is a distal cholangio, and the artery to me appeared to be stuck to the area where the tumor would be. I tried to dissect it off, but yeah, as you can see, I felt that it was really stuck. Tried from different sides to approach it. That's a big branch going to the uncinate coming off the replaced. Still trying to preserve this, but it was going to the area of potentially the tumor. You can see here how it's stuck to that area. Here I clamped the artery for two reasons. If I get into bleeding, it's clamped. I can be more aggressive with the dissection, but also I followed the main right hepatic artery coming off the common hepatic artery to make sure that there is actually a good right hepatic artery. You can see the stent there in the back. There's definitely great arterial signal with the accessory clamped. Again, you can see how it's stuck to that tumor in the distal bile duct. Still one last attempt. But I don't see any benefit in preserving this, so I clipped it and divided. That's a cystic artery coming off the real right hepatic artery. That's cystic duct. The last structure to be divided is the bile duct. I didn't staple it here since there was a metal stent in. Sent frozen from the duct, since this is a cholangio. And this is the final anatomy there. Reconstruction as usual. Thank you for watching.